walang katotohanan yung hindi nagtutugma, no? Yung mga pinakita kahapon dun sa mismong SALN. It's siguro I don't want to get into details, but I'm also not saying na kasinungalingan yung mga present kahapon. What I'm saying is the way it's presented. No, the way it's presented, doon tayo magkakaroon ng pagkakataluhan. Kung accurate ba yung presentation na gano'n. I'm not saying na mali yung report ng AMLAC. Wala kaming sinasabing ganyan. What we're saying is we have to be cautious on how to take those figures that were being given out yesterday. And as you know, the Vice President in her statement already denied, all these things na may ganun siyang kalaking pera na pumasok sa kanyang bangko at any point in time. Ang panawagan namin is intayin nila kami. Intayin nila na kami naman ang magpresenta ng aming ebidensya para pabulaanan lahat ng mga lumalabas ngayon laban sa ating Vice Presidente. Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for coming. I know medyo short notice po tayo. We only issued the advisory this morning. And I'd like to apologize for that. The truth is, we had a problem looking for this venue, setting this up. So kaya medyo na late po yung aming media advisory. So again, good afternoon today. With me, as you know, are members of the defense team led by Attorney Sheila Sison to my left, Attorney Carlo Joaquin Narvasa, and Attorney Ralph Bodota to my right. So we're all here because, as you know, gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo na sa totoo lang, malimit talaga magpa-press con ang defense team. Kahit last year, nung unang round ng impeachment, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi talaga kami nagpapa-press con because as much as possible, we do not want everything to be like a trial by publicity. We do not want to litigate through the media. So it's just with developments yesterday, I believe there are so many media queries that are sent to me all night. So minarapat na namin na sagutin kayo kahit generally lang dahil syempre, as you know, we cannot disclose fully our legal strategy. And as we said, hindi naman kami yung tipo ng mga abogado na gustong nakikipagdebate sa media. We would rather do this through the processes, and probably even in the impeachment court kung umabot doon. So yesterday, alam naman natin yung mga naging issues. It's the SALN, and then of course the AMLAC or AMLC report, and then all the others pa like yung SEC, BIR, and all that. So ang main focus naman kasi, and of course the testimony of former Senator Trillanes. So may rapat lang namin na sagutin yon sa inyo. Although hihingi ulit ako ng paumanhin dahil nga hindi magiging madetalye yung sagot namin. One, dahil we only received the documents earlier today, this morning, at sa totoo lang, we haven't had the chance or the time to really peruse over all of these documents that were given to us by the House. And secondly, as you know, our position has been firm, and that's why we filed a petition before the Supreme Court questioning the proceedings. And thirdly, it's because kailangan malinaw sa atin kung ano ba talaga ang sakop ng isang impeachable offense. Diba? Very clear naman po sa Sara Duterte versus House of Representatives yung huling desisyon ng ating Supreme Court ng impeachable offense only refers to offenses allegedly committed while the impeachable officer is occupying that impeachable office. So we're talking about 2022 to present. So, kailangan po malinaw sa atin yon. And of course, legally, kung pwede lang, we will confine ourselves to that. But naiintindihan ko naman, the questions that the public may have. And that's why we are here today, to try and answer all of your questions. So, without further ado, perhaps we can already start with the questioning.
We will start with Ms. Camille Samonte of TV5.
Good afternoon po, Attorney Powa and to other lawyers. I'm Camille Samonte po from TV5. Sir, ano pong plano ng defense team kung paano nyo po dedepensahan? I know na nag-release na po ng statement si Vice President Sara Duterte denying the accusations of former Senator Trillanes and yung mga naging findings po dun sa kanyang salin at ng AMLAC. Pero paano nyo, sir, yung dedepensahan kung sinasabi po ng bise na lahat ng kanyang pera, ari-arian ay idineklara sa salin niya, pero hindi po nagtutugma doon sa findings mismo, doon sa mga dokumento na pinresenta kahapon, maging yung mga financial records and transactions po na ipinakita ng Anti-Money Laundering Council.
Opo. Actually, ma'am, yung salitang hindi nagtutugma is a conclusion in itself. No? Yan yung posisyon namin. Para po sa amin, actually, wala naman pong hindi nagtutugma. Perhaps it's just the way that things were presented. Obviously, as I said, we cannot disclose how we will defend the Vice President. But yung nangyari kahapon, of course, is something we already expected as a defense team, lalong-lalo na nung alam natin na nitong committee hearings, nababalitaan natin yung mga subpoenas. So, we were expecting those things, but yung gusto ko lang i-clarify, yung hindi nagtutugma, yan yung misconception na gusto natin ma-clarify today, no? Through responding to your questions. Again, we cannot go into details on how we will defend, but syempre, iba kasi. Ang point namin is yun nga iba yung pag nasa trial na tayo kasi at least doon, we can test the credibility not only of the witnesses, but even the documents that are being presented.
Are you saying, sir, na yung mga pinresenta, for example, yung mga allegations po na ipinakita ng mga dokumento ni former Senator Trillanes, is not credible enough kahit na nung tinanong po ito sa AMLAC ay na-confirm naman nila?
No, I like to correct that. No, I don't want also the former senator to also get a misimpression that I'm not saying it's not credible. What we're saying is we don't know, and we need to test the credibility of all these things. In fact, even in the Justice Committee, di ba, ang sinasabi nila, we're only here for probable cause, we're not sa credibility just yet, di ba ganun din. So, that is why, kaya nga may trial. Kasi kung yung mga bagay na yan, credible na. So, ano pa ang, ba't pa tayo mag-impeachment trial, hindi ba? So, kami talaga, we believe that pagdating ng panahon, kung talagang ito ma-transmit sa impeachment court, we are confident that we will be able to show na walang katotohanan yung hindi nagtutugma, no? Yung mga pinakita kahapon dun sa mismong salin. It's siguro I don't want to get into details, but I'm also not saying na kasinungalingan yung mga present kahapon. What I'm saying is the way it's presented. No, the way it's presented, dun tayo magkakaroon ng pagkakataluhan. Kung accurate ba yung presentation na gano'n.
Next, DJ Mendoza na 25.
Sir, I understand. Doon sa ano muna tayo, sir, sa may AMLAC report. Yung kahapon, namili, randomly pick ng 18 transactions, if I'm not mistaken. Then, parang tila sabi ng iba ay vindicated na si Senator Trillanes with those mga sinasabi niya ng unang pahayag before. Ano yung komento ng Vice President regarding dun sa mga naging pahayag nitong si Senator Trillanes and dun sa lumalabas sa AMLAC report?
Well, sa amin naman, we don't really want to comment on the vindicated or anything like that. Kasi ang posisyon talaga namin, vindication will come once it's all presented in the impeachment court and we're able to cross-examine all the witnesses and to test the evidence. No? Pagdating sa AMLAC, as I've said, it's a matter of presentation kasi. No? And I think marami na rin lumalabas na post. So, siguro, dadaanan ko na kahit papaano without going into the details. I think nakikita naman natin sa mga posts na the way the AMLAC numbers are presented, aggregate kasi yan. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng withdrawals mo, lahat ng deposits mo, pagdating sa inflow and outflow, pinagsama-sama. So, simplihan ko lang. Meron akong 1,000 pesos. Dineposit ko. Withdraw ko. Diba? Ang lalabas sa total transactions mo, 2,000 na. Pero actually, ang nasa bangko mo, 0 na. Diba? So, ganun kasimple, no? Now, and, so, kaya sinasabi namin, na, again, hindi ko sinasabing maling AMLAC. I want to show due respect naman to AMLAC. But the way that AMLAC data is normally presented is that it is an aggregate of all transactions. siguro balikan natin yung 2017, di ba nagkaroon ng issue na dyan noon. At in fact, AMLAC issued an official statement saying na hindi accurate yung accounts in terms of account balances or what is actually inside the bank account of a person. Kasi aggregate yung ginagawang number. So lahat ng inflows dyan, lahat ng outflows dyan, ina-add up lang. Kaya may tendency talaga na maging bloated, no, yung figures. Kahapon rin may napag-usapan na edi inet na lang natin, diba? Inflows minus outflows or outflows minus inflows net. So yun pa rin yun. Nakikita ko yung point nun, no? And with due respect dun sa mga nag-raise, so nakikita ko yung point. But our point naman is, kung bloated na yung outflow mo, tsaka bloated na yung inflow mo, edi bloated din yung net, di ba? So dun na kami pinanggagalingan. Again, I don't want to go into the details na, but para lang maintindihan ng taong bayan, na ganun kasi the way it's presented. Ina-add lahat ng deposits, ina-add lahat ng pumasok, bali sa account mo, ina-add lahat ng lumabas. But it is not determinative or conclusive as to magkano ba talaga yung nasa loob ng account. And we are talking about transactions that span over 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. Over 18 years. So, yun ang magiging, talagang para sa amin, it's bloated talaga ang number.
Sir, dapat bang pag-usapan pa sa impeachment yung SALN ni VP Sara nung mga panahon na Vice Mayor and Mayor siya?
Of course, para sa amin, hindi. No? Because obviously, ano ba ang purpose ng impeachment? Di ba, ang basis ng impeachment is meron tayong impeachable offenses. Ang impeachable offenses ay offenses, again, committed while the impeachable officer is in office as an impeachable officer. So, ibig sabihin nun, doon lang sa time na vice-presidente siya. So, yung mga 2000, may 2005 pa ba? 2006, 2007, na hindi naman siya impeachable officer, hindi na yan saklaw ng impeachment proceedings.
Next is MJ Salceda of Inquirer.
Attorney, VP Sara just released a statement po earlier denying the allegations about the billions in bank accounts also hitting COA and AMLAC. Does the Vice President plan to say her latest statement in front of the House Committee on Justice? Will she ever attend the House Committee on Justice hearing on her impeachment?
Again, her attendance or should I say non-attendance is based on the position of the defense, no, regarding the jurisdiction or the lack thereof in terms of the type or the nature of proceedings that are being conducted. So, pagdating naman dyan, I think kaya nga sinapubliko na lang niya yung statement niya. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nito na ayaw rumisponde o sumagot ng ating Vice Presidente sa paratang. Parati namin sinasabi, alam ko medyo gasgas na siguro nga natin yung appropriate forum. Pero naniniwala naman kasi talaga kami na kung talagang aakyat ito sa Senate impeachment, makikita nyo yung sagot ng defense sa lahat ng paratang na ito.
Bella Carriazo, The Philippine Star.
Good afternoon po. Earlier, nag-interview si Congresswoman Leila De Lima and ang sabi niya, yung 6.7 billion na dinisclose ng AMLAC, pwede daw mag-constitute as ill-gotten wealth kay Vice President. Ano po yung reaction niya dito?
Well, I respect Congresswoman De Lima, former Senator De Lima, and she's entitled to her opinion. No? Sa amin naman, ang plano lang namin is to show why those numbers are actually inaccurate.
And second question
And
po.
si Attorney Sheila would like to also add on to that.
Just in addition to what Mike had already said, I think what's important for us to understand at this point is that a mere presentation of supposed evidence before a committee that is not authorized to conduct trial does not really amount to proof. And the reason for that is really simple. It's because every evidence, whether it's something that you present in an ordinary case or in this case in an impeachment proceeding, must still survive scrutiny. And when does that happen? When does scrutiny happen? It happens only in a proper trial before a tribunal or a body that has jurisdiction to conduct trial. And that is something that the defense has been very clear from the very start. The reason why we had already stated that we will not be able to participate in a proceeding that we think is unconstitutional and goes beyond the powers that have clearly been identified by the Constitution to belong not in the House of Representatives or any of its committees, but in the Senate alone.
Second question po. Sabi kanina din ni Congresswoman Luistro, April 29, ang papatawag nila yung NBI chief si Matibag. And then nasabi niya, yun na lang ang last hearing para magbotohan para dun sa impeachment ni VP. So, ina-expect niyo po ba na aakyat na ito sa Senate at may numbers ang mga nagsusulong dito? And considering po na wala pong PRO kayo na nakuha sa Supreme Court. Thank you.
Opo, medyo marami po yung tanong, no? But first and foremost, I don't want to preempt the vote of the Committee on Justice pagdating sa finding of probable cause na gagawin nilang botohan. Secondly, I also don't want to preempt the House itself. Diba? Bigyan naman natin ng respeto yung House. Tingnan na lang natin. Pero ang defense team, ready kami sa kung ano man mangyari. Like we've been saying, no, last year, we have been preparing for trial na dahil kahit nag-file tayo ng petition sa Supreme Court, hindi din naman natin alam kung ano yung magiging desisyon nun. So we were preparing. And until today, we are still preparing. So ano na lang po tayo, no? I don't want to preempt, I don't want to speculate kung may boto man o walang House. I think it's best directed to the House members themselves. Pero kami, we're just ready for any eventuality.
Next is Red Mendoza from Manila Times.
Hi po. Good afternoon po, attorneys. Of course, nagsabi po my first question is, nagsabi po si Congressman Benny Abante kahapon sa hearing kahapon na the only way for the Vice President to answer the allegations is to face the impeachment court. Or the Committee on Justice hearing. Nagmamakawa pa nga siya na dapat daw pumunta raw si VP sa hearing para ma-hear yung side niya. And there's also a recent interview by former Corona Defense Counsel Judge Roy na sinabi niya na ang pagpunta daw ni VP sa Committee on Justice is the strategic way for her to defend herself. What's your thought on those comments po?
Well, as to yung strategic way or not, I think our position has been very clear. It's about jurisdiction to conduct the proceedings that we feel are already bordering on trial, no? If not trial itself. So yun naman talaga yun. It wasn't really anything strategic. It was really something we had to file based as lawyers dun sa nakikita naming developments. Ngayon, pagdating naman po doon sa pagsagot, like Attorney Sheila said, scrutiny can only be had when we are also allowed to test the evidence, present our side, and that will be the impeachment court in the Senate.
Dagdag ko lang, no? While I respect the opinion of Representative Abante, I think he also knows, I'm certain that he is aware, na ang tamang venue o ang tamang panahon para mag-conduct ng trial o para sagutin at magbigay kami ng ebidensya ang Vice Presidente ay hindi sa Committee on Justice. Ito ay before the impeachment court. Ibig sabihin sa Senado. Hindi naman ito I think this is something important that we all need to understand. Hindi maaari na sinasabi lang natin, dapat dito kayo sa komite, dito kayo sa komite. Kasi kailangan lang natin basahin ng konstitusyon. Sino ba ang impeachment court? Ito ba ang Committee on Justice? Hindi. Ito ba ang House of Representatives? Hindi rin. So sino? According to the Constitution, ang impeachment court, if that even will be constituted, ay ang Senado. So, ang ibig kong sabihin, the defense and the Vice President are ready to respond in detail, again, before the proper forum, and during a fair trial.
Last na lang po on my end. Ito po, naungkat din po ito dun sa hearings, yung sinasabing return, o papabalik ng mga sinasabing confidential funds na according to sa Commission Auditor. But what's your take po doon? I mean, ano pong reaction po ng defense team sa paglalabas ng mga dokumento na ito regarding sa confidential funds? That's po, Mayor.
Thank you, Red. I think you're referring to the decision of the Commission proper. I'll be very candid. Nandun ako sa hearing na yun di ba? Kung napapansin nyo, sumisilip nga ako sa phone ni Attorney Camora. Kasi, nagulat ako, the Office of the Vice President or the persons that are accountable, allegedly, doon sa ND, hindi pa sila naservan ng copy nung ND bago in-announce yung decision na yon. In fact, hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin kaming natatanggap. Ang natatanggap pa lang namin ay syempre yung galing sa House na binibigay nila sa amin. Pero yung mismong from COA itself, and I keep on checking with the accountable officers named in that decision, kung nakuha na nila, or kami bilang councils, wala pa rin kami natatanggap actually. Now, ngayon, pagdating sa restitution, hindi pa po panahon para pag-usapan ang restitution because hindi pa po final yung decision na yan. Let me clarify that. After a decision is rendered by the Commission proper that is adverse, in this case, to the accountable officers of the OVP, meron pa pong 30-day period within which we can file an MR or actually, upon denial of the MR or motion for reconsideration, we will go up to the Supreme Court based on Rule 64 of the Rules of Court. At yan po ay nasa COA rules mismo. So we just wanted to clarify para lang klaro tayo lahat dito. The Commission proper has decided, yes, wala pa kaming kopya. And secondly, hindi pa po final yan dahil may remedies pa po ang mga officials ng OVP. Again, motion for reconsideration within 30 days. And then, upon denial, kung ano man ang balanse ng 30-day period na yon, ay maaari pa kaming umakyat sa Supreme Court on Rule 64. At doon lang po sa desisyon ng Supreme Court magiging final itong disallowance na ito.
Ms. Marisol Abdurrahman of GMA News.
Without necessarily going into details, like how would you explain yung actually medyo nakakagulat? Itong more than 600 suspicious transactions at pinimension yung almost 7 billion na amount na binanggit. Like, sa part ng defense team, like, without necessarily going into details, like, how would you address yung allegations na
Yes.
kahapon?
I'll just stick with the facts, Kasi nga ayaw nating parang nagdedebate tayo sa media, di ba? So we'll just stick with the facts. Ano po ba ang suspicious transaction report? Ang laman po niyan ay suspicious transactions. Ang ibig po sabihin, suspicious transactions does not equate to any wrongdoing or unlawful activity. Perhaps the bank thought or tagged it as suspicious, so umakyat sa AMLAC, nagkaroon ng suspicious transaction report. Ngayon, hindi naman ibig sabihin nun, illegal na kaagad, or may money laundering na kaagad, or may krimen na kaagad. In fact, magti-trigger lang yon para sa AMLAC na tingnan at kung gusto nilang imbestigahan, at yun po ang nangyari. In fact, kanina, when we were, the legal team and I, the defense team and I were perusing over the documents, wala kasi kaming time so nagbabrowse lang kami. Napansin namin dun sa attachment ng suspicious transaction report, ang naging basis nila for that was media reports on the confidential funds, on the committee hearings, regarding in relation to the confidential funds. So, maaring yon yung nag-trigger sa bank, And yun lang yung naging basihan ng bank, kaya nagkaroon ng suspicious transaction report. But, again, I don't want to speculate on that. Yun lang yung nabasa namin. So, wala pa kaming time para bigyan kayo ng full picture. But at least we want that established that a suspicious transaction does not necessarily mean or does not automatically equate to any wrongdoing or any unlawful activity. Pagdating naman po dun sa pangalawang yung tanong na bilyon at sabi nyo nga nakakagulat, marami ring nagulat. Totoo naman po yun, Kahit naman sino siguro magagulat kung ganun yung amounts. But again, doon po kami nanggagaling sa how is an AMLAC report presented? Diba? It is the aggregate of all, ang tawag nga nila ay inflows and outflows. So, lahat ng deposit, lahat ng withdrawal, ina-add nilang lahat yon. At least yun yung posisyon namin, at pananaw namin, o pagkakaintindi namin sa reports ng AMLAC. No? Na ina-add lang nila lahat yun over a span of 18 years. So, it doesn't give us a clear picture kung magkano ba talaga yung pera na nasa bangko. Kasi, kung meron kang 5,000, 20,000 na dinideposit mo, kada buwan, wini-withdraw mo, etc., etc., pag ina-add mo yung lahat over a span of 18 years, talagang magiging malaki yung amount, magiging bloated, no? And that is why we're saying that these things, no, we just have to be very cautious on how we look at it. Again, I'm not saying na mali yung report ng AMLAC, wala kaming sinasabing ganyan. What we're saying is we have to be cautious on how to take those figures that were being given out yesterday. And as you know, the Vice President in her statement already denied, all these things na may ganun siyang kalaking pera na pumasok sa kanyang bangko at any point in time. Okay.
Sir, the hearing kahapon may mga congressmen na nag-raise ng concern na the committee might be violating laws. Pero as the defense team of the Vice President, we think rights of the committee were violated. If so, ano ang
ako sa ngayon, if I can be honest with you, hindi ko muna didiretso yung sagutin yan. Of course, we have our own position and you'll know it at the proper time.
Habol ko lang. Nasa kanila po yung box ng BIR. Any legal move? Kasi we understand parang sa bubata from BIR to withdraw, but the committee refused to do it. So, anong plano po ng defense team? Kasi they are still in possession of the box.
Well, I think it was clear from the BIR's position itself, no? The commissioner during the transmittal even mentioned the confidentiality of all these returns. Specifically, I think Section 270, if I'm not mistaken, of the tax code, no? So, nilatag na naman niya yon, no? And in fact, dun sa transmittal, when we saw it, nakasulat doon, it can be given as long as it's in executive session and by request by Congress and in aid of legislation, which this is not, no? Hindi to in aid of legislation. So, kami naman, we'll just monitor the developments and syempre bilang abogado, kung makikita namin na violate yung rights ng aming kliyente, we will have to do everything to protect, the rights of the Vice President. Attorney Sheila, you wanted to add, no?
Just in addition, balikan ko yung tanong ni, what's the name of the lady? Ni Miss Marisol, with respect dun sa sinabi niya na kagulat-gulat daw, marahil, no, kamangha-mangha na bilang ng salapi na sinabi o binanggit kahapon sa Committee on Justice. Pero I think what we also need to remember is, despite the alleged amount that were presented yesterday, doon sa sinasabi nila na AMLAC reports, ng SDRs, CDRs, etc. Walang kahit ano na sinabi rin ang AMLAC that any of these SDRs or transactions was linked to any unlawful activity. Yun ang dapat na malinaw. And I think yun ang dapat din nating maging gabay, no? Bago natin paniwalaan o kunin yung mga impormasyon lamang na inilalatag sa ating harapan. All I'm saying is, before we draw any conclusions, again, we should look at the fundamental issue. Kailan ba ang tamang panahon para matest itong mga sinasabi nilang ebidensya? At saan? Tamang panahon, during trial, before the impeachment court. And the defense team is ready to respond in detail when that happens.
Next is Ms. Victoria Tulad, ABS-CBN.
Good afternoon po. Kahapon po lumabas din sa hearing na di umano nakatanggap ng pera si VP Sara and her relatives from a certain Samuel Uy na allegedly ay isa pong drug lord. Comment nyo lang po dito. And does she know Samuel Uy?
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. As to her personally knowing Samuel Uy, hindi namin napag-usapan pa. But with, I think it's open, it's public information naman na kaibigan talaga ni PRRD, si Samuel Uy. Now, as to the allegation of him being a drug lord, I think that's, I don't have the facts. That's merely an allegation, no? So we shouldn't conclude anything out of that. Again, unless proven in the court of law, I don't even want to go there and say alleged drug lord. Saka, kawawa rin naman kasi yung tao, no, na nadadama yung pangalan. Pagdating dito sa mga perang na banggit kahapon, I think ang sabi ay manager's check. We have to note that ang nakasabi lang naman is a manager's check was allegedly nagpagawa ng manager's check, allegedly si Sammy Uy, wherein the recipients are the Vice President and ganito and who else. So, yun lang yung nakasulat no? Hindi naman, wala naman dun anything na natanggap talaga nila. And as you know, the Vice President already issued a statement denying that she had received any of these amounts of money that were presented yesterday. Now, again, we don't want to get into the details, but those checks, we're confident that we will be able to clarify everything and show the public kung ano talaga yung nangyari sa checks and kung meron man talaga, no, pagdating ng trial.
And also, Attorney, si Committee on Justice Chair Luis Tro, sinabi naman po niya kanina sa isang interview na the evidence versus VP Sara surpassed threshold of probable cause for impeachment. Your comment on them?
Well, I guess, again, with all due respect to Chairperson Luis Tro, no, I don't want to be debating with her, but it's being the chairperson of the Committee on Justice, sabi nila, yan nga ang trabaho nila, mag-determine ng probable cause with that statement. So I guess we know what her position is. So, and they put it to a vote. Again, nasa kanila naman yan, yung determination ng probable cause. If it so happens that talagang magkaroon ng determination of probable cause, this is given to plenary and transmitted, tayo, we will not anymore debate on what they did there, but we will just face them in the Senate. Of course, without waiving the petition that we filed before the Supreme Court regarding what we see as constitutional infirmities, no, dito sa mga proceedings na ito.
Next is Mr. Jason Dublico, SMNI.
Hello, attorneys. Jason po ng SMNI. Sir, first question, dahil under po sa AMLA, banks are under po sa Section 9 ng AMLA, it provides po that SDRs and CDRs shall not be disclosed and are protected from public release. And this confidentiality po is reinforced by the bank secrecy law and related financial privacy laws. So, babalikan ko lang yung tanong, sir. Posible po bang may nalabag na batas ang AMLA at ang House Committee on Justice sa paglalantad po ng bank accounts ni VP Sara Duterte and Attorney Mans Carpio, and posible po ba na dadalhin rin po ninyo ang usapin na ito sa Korte Suprema if may nakita po kayong paglabag sa constitutional rights ni VP Sara?
Can I think you said it yourself, no? Kung yun yung nilalaman ng batas, malinaw naman yung sinasabi ng batas, that those information are strictly confidential, cannot be disclosed, hindi ba? But we've seen otherwise from what happened before the committee hearing yesterday. Now, as to any actions that we plan to take or the personalities involved plan to take, that's something that I hope you understand we will not be able to disclose at this point.
Just to add on, we are, and just to emphasize, we are fully aware, in fact, that Section 8A, if I'm not mistaken, of the law as amended. No?
Sir, second question. Ano po ang panawagan po ninyo sa public? Kasi parang ang lumalabas po na lahat po ng mga sinasabi doon sa House Committee on Justice ay parang tinatanggap na katotohanan ng iilan. So ano po ang panawagan ninyo sa publiko sa gitna po ng usapin ngayon involving the Vice President?
Siguro simple lang po talaga ang panawagan namin. No? Let's just be cautious doon sa mga lumalabas without saying that they're false, because that's really not my point. I'm not saying false yung mga lumalabas. So all I'm saying is we have to be cautious, especially with the way things are being presented. And ang panawagan namin is intayin nila kami. Ano? Intayin nila na kami naman ang magpresenta ng aming ebidensya para pabulaanan lahat ng mga lumalabas ngayon laban sa ating Vice Presidente.
Sir, pahabol, last question. Kasi sinabi po ni Vice President Sara dun sa kanyang statement, isa sa mga nasa likod ng mga paratang ng former Senator Trillanes is the sitting president. So, may magiging hakbang po ba ang defense team laban po sa Pangulo?
I don't think we're I don't think we're at liberty to discuss things like that because kami we're just limited to the impeachment proceedings. So sa atin di kami magkokomento anything outside, especially of course if it relates to the president. Wala po kaming kinalaman diyan. Kami po ay dito lang po kami sa impeachment nakafocus.
Ms. Nympha Ravelo, PZWB.
Good afternoon po, attorneys. Question ko po una, sasagutin nyo ba o hindi na talaga sasagutin o i-refute yung pong mga lumabas na allegations sa House?
Sasagutin po sa impeachment court. Doon po natin sasagutin lahat yon. Doon po naman ang tamang forum kung saan namin masasagot lahat ng yon.
So, wala at all po, o hindi na kayo magsasabit ng any pleadings or any manifestation sa House Committee on Justice?
We have to wait for developments. No, we cannot say that we will not submit any manifestation whatsoever. But you have to remember that the main petition before the Supreme Court is really questioning the jurisdiction as to the nature of the proceedings that are being conducted. Again, hindi namin kino-question ang power of the House to initiate impeachment proceedings. I think that's very clear under the Constitution. We don't want to even try to blur that line. I mean, admittedly, they have the sole power to initiate. Ang kino-question lang po namin ay jurisdiction in terms of conducting this type of committee hearings.
And then, di ba isa doon sa reason po ng inyong pagdurog sa Supreme Court yung sinasabi na mini trial na yung nangyayari? Napatibay po ba nung nangyari kahapon yung inyong argumento na yan at gagamitin po ba yan sa pagpa-file ng panibagong petition or any rejoinder sa Supreme Court?
Well, una-una, we cannot file a new petition anymore, no? Kasi may pending na tayong petition. But if you're asking us if what we've seen so far from the committee hearings actually support what we had stated in that petition, I think we're not naive, hindi ba? We have observed what's been happening sa committee hearings, pati yung pagpapalabas ng iba't ibang subpina para kumuha ng mga sinasabi nilang ebidensya, kahit ang mga ito ay hindi naman bahagi ng dalawang impeachment complaints na sinasabi nila ay under preliminary investigation, di ba? In fact, it's probably important to tell you now that maging yung supplemental affidavit ni Mr. Madriaga, yung AMLAC report, yung affidavit ni former Senator Trillanes, and all those other evidence that they were able to obtain na after final yung impeachment complaint, wala kaming kopya niyan bago yan ibinahagi sa komite. Kasi nga, hindi siya kasama ng impeachment complaint. Pati yung notice or yung desisyon ng COA on the appeal of the Vice President at ng ibang respondents doon sa confidential funds. Bigla na lamang doon sa komite, sinabi na denied na, no? Which, that's fine. Kung sinabi nila sa unang hearing, April 14, am I right? April 14, na wala na deny na yung appeal ng Vice President. And I think you've seen some of the personalities na they were claiming, final na ba yan? Final na ba yan? Of course, hindi final. I think alam naman yan ng komite na hindi yan final. Alam din yan ng COA na hindi pa yan final. In fact, I can recall na sinabi ni Attorney Camora na meron pang remedyo. There's still a legal step that can be done by the respondents in that appeal to elevate it, no, to the Supreme Court or to question the decision of the COA. So, hindi pinal. Kung ipipilit na pinal na yung COA decision na yan o yan ay maaari nang maging batayan para doon sa sinasabi nilang pagbabalik, restitution, etc., etc., mali yan. Mali. I mean, I invite you all have access to the internet. You will find na hindi yan pinal. At kung sino man magsasabi na pinal yan, ay hindi nagsasabi ng tama.
Mr. Lance Mexico, Newswatch Plus.
Salamat po. Natanong na rin ako kanina, pero para lang po ma-clarify, pasensya na. Sa tingin niyo ba na may na-violate ang mga karapatan ng Vice President dun sa pag-release ng mga information ng AMLAC at ng documents ng BIR kahit na hindi nabuksan yung sa BIR documents, and what do you intend to do about it?
Same answer po. We are aware of provisions of law that provide for the confidentiality of such documents. As to what we're going to do about it, as I said, we're not at liberty to disclose the legal steps that we will be taking regarding these matters.
Mr. Lance Mexico, Newswatch.
Good afternoon, sir. So, kanina po you've also explained kahit hindi masyadong detalyado na dun sa 6.7, it's probably aggregated, etc. Perhaps, sir, without going into detail lang din, what's the simple explanation dun po sa wala daw cash on bank and in hand si VP Sara from 2019 to 2024, and yung 3 years dun at least ay sakop nung kaniyang termino bilang Vice President?
Opo. Thank you for that question, Sir Lance. No, I guess the simple explanation in consultation with, of course, the client, because is she disclosed. She disclosed. No, I can understand na the confusion kasi accurate naman sinasabi, walang line item ng cash in bank. Accurate naman yun. No? But what I'm saying is she disclosed because it was all lumped under yung others. No? Kasi sa personal items, kung makita nyo dun sa SALN, nakasulat dun vehicles, or others, ganyan. So, yung cash in bank, kasama siya dun sa others. So, she disclosed, no? Yung walang sinasabi doon na wala siyang cash in bank. Nakalump lang siya sa others.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
But I just wanted to clarify kasi baka sabihin parang sinasabi naming mali o sinungaling yung mga House members yesterday. Hindi naman po. Kasi ang sinasabi naman nila is walang line item ng cash in bank. So now we're just clarifying upon consultation with our client na she disclosed all of those actually. It was just lumped under others or I think various, one of those things.
Alright, thank you po for the explanation. Yung isa ko naman pong tanong, you've mentioned, sir, no, na, and si ma'am, sabi niyo hintayin na lang yung publiko na dun sa detailed answer kapag dumating tayo sa trial. But sir, siguro, just in the scenario na walang probable cause or there's no trial na mangyayari sa Senate, even though may mga nagsasabi na ng mambabatas na may probable cause to move the impeachment proceedings or move the impeachment case, can the public still expect a detailed answer on these allegations and these financial records kahit po walang trial?
Wala pa kasi tayo doon, so napakahirap sumagot. But this is partly also why we're here, diba? Because we all realize this is both a political and legal exercise, diba? It's a sui generis matter. Kaya nga, kahit kami, sa totoo lang, ayaw namin nagpapa-interview. In fact, ako, try talaga ako although kailangan, nagtatry akong umiwas sa inyo. Alam niyo yon kasi minsan nakikiusap ako sa inyo na hindi mo na magpapa-interview because kami, we're more focused on the legal. Ayaw namin nung public debate. No? But in any case, we do understand that along with the legal, this is also a political matter. And that's why as much as I can, and the defense team can, we try to oblige certain interview requests para lang ma-explain sa public generally. Para lang hindi magkaroon kaagad ng misconception dun sa mga nangyari. But we're too far from that. Tingnan muna natin kung anong magiging desisyon ng ating House of Representatives ukol dyan. At kung magkaroon man ng, you never know, sabi nga ng Senate, they will start the trial forthwith kaagad pag umabot sa kanila itong articles of impeachment. So pinaghahandaan talaga ng defense team 'yon sa ngayon.
Lastly, Mr. Ched Gatchalian of Billionaire News Channel.
Good afternoon po, attorneys. May one more hearing pa sa April 29. Ang topic daw na pag-uusapan is i-scrutinize yung alleged evidences, threats umano ni VP, kay PBBM, kay First Lady at former House Speaker Romualdez. Ano po yung expectations ninyo dun sa hearing na gaganapin? And so far, kahit wala pa yung presentation of evidences, ano ba yung overall stance ng defense team with that issue?
Well, actually, the issue of grave threat is pending litigation. It's nasa DOJ yan, no? So we have already submitted our defenses there. Pagdating naman sa expectation namin sa hearing, honestly, mas maganda siguro itanong na lang sa members ng Justice Committee kasi wala talaga kaming alam, no, kung ano yung mangyayari that day. Kami lang, handa lang, meron na kaming posisyon on the grave threat issue. At obviously, we cannot disclose that as of the moment. But you will see our position if ever this goes up to the Senate. I think malinaw naman na sa amin na kaya naming depensahan ng Vice Presidente ukol dyan sa nangyari yan.
Siguro, last na po, if ever man napapa-akit itong sa Senate, gano'n confident yung defense team na mananalo kayo for VP Sara and bakit?
Well, the defense team is not here to lose, hindi ba? So, binuo kami, we only have one target. It's not just to win, but actually to show the general public and the people of the Philippines na walang katiwalian, na walang katotohanan sa mga ikangay katiwalian na binabato sa ating Vice Presidente. And when we talk about vindication, last year, di ba, tinatanong kami, do you feel vindicated with the Supreme Court decision? Kami mismo nag-admit na hindi kasi wala pa tayo sa merits. So maybe only that time will the Vice President feel vindicated, no? And that's what we're here for. We're here to protect the rights of our client, and we're here to show the evidence, to present the evidence, to test the evidence of the prosecution, and to show the Filipino people na hindi corrupt ang ating Vice Presidente at walang katiwaliang ginawa ang ating Vice Presidente sa kanyang termino.
Last question lang po, Ina Hernando Malipon, Manila Bulletin.
Hi, Ina. I haven't seen you for so long.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Just one question lang po. No? How is your client, the Vice President, amidst all this? You mentioned kanina that you've discussed things with her. So, kumusta naman po siya amidst all this?
Business as usual, ang ating Vice Presidente. I really admire her strength, no, throughout all this. It's been happening since, I think, 2023 na parati siyang may atake. So, and I've seen it up close when I was with her. So, kilala niyo naman ang Vice Presidente natin. She's just business as usual. She's going about her business, dito sa OVP. Sinisigurado lang niya na tuloy-tuloy ang mga proyekto ng OVP. At pagdating naman dito sa mga problemang legal, nandito naman ang defense team niya na binuo niya maaga pa. Parang sigurado na siya na madedepensahan siya ng tama, no? Kung sakali mang umabot tayo sa impeachment trial.
We thank our colleague from the media. Before we end, we invite the defense team to share any closing message.
Siguro, hindi na po kami mag-closing message. Isang malaking pasasalamat na lang po sa inyong lahat. At isang paumanhin. Because in the next few days, I will really not give too many interviews. Pili lang po talaga. Not because of favoritism or anything like that, but because, as you know, again, we do not want to litigate this case in the media. We want to follow process. At pagdating sa media, it's really clarifications that we give. We respect yung pananaw both ng mga supporters natin and even those who are against us. So we don't want to engage in any debate with them. Clarification lang din po yung gagawin ko sa media in the next few days. At anytime naman po na sa tingin namin kailangan talagang may ma-clarify na malaking bagay, we will always be here to give you a press con. And pag nagsimula naman po siguro yung impeachment trial, we will definitely oblige, no? In fact, that's why sinama ko rin dito si Attorney Narvasa si Attorney Bodota, meron pa kami si Attorney Benluan, who will also help me pagdating sa communications sa media, kung ano yung mga pangyayari para lalong maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan kung ano yung mga legalidad at pangyayari na mangyayari sa trial sa pang-araw-araw. Thank you. Yeah, sige po.
Times and we're asking this again, Attorney. So, may isa pang hearing. So, are you saying na wala na talaga kaming aasahan na any attendance from the VP nor anyone from the defense team dahil talagang doon lang kayo sa impeachment court? Sasagot.
Yes, because that has always been our position. And we have to be and I think the members of the House also understand that is our position. We filed a petition before the Supreme Court and we have to maintain and be consistent with that position.
I had to ask kasi that the chairman kahapon made an emphasis again na for the second time, ang empty chair lang ang aming kaharap. So, she's still maybe somehow hoping still that, one day, anybody from the team or no less than the VP would appear at the
Opo, sa amin, that's our position. From the members of the team, again, it's the same Kung pumunta kami doon, it will be inconsistent with our position. And even if it wasn't, wala din naman kaming magagawa doon because again, our role is only to assist. We are the client, no? We can, or the respondent in this case. We are not even allowed to cross-examine, which is okay because again, what we're saying is, if it does go to trial, let's wait for the trial. Hintayin na lang kami mag-cross-examine so we can unmask, all these witnesses against the Vice President and show you kung ano ba talaga ang nangyari dito sa mga aligasyon na ito.
This concludes our press conference. On behalf of the impeachment defense team, we thank you for your time and your cooperation. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.